Writers and producers have a major bottleneck when it comes to selling their lyrics and or tracks for that matter, and this is a system. Many creators are frustrated by this because there is no one direct way. However, there are some things that you can implement to ease your fears of actually moving this product. Now, I know that money is low, so we're not going to have to spend a whole bunch here. But if you do want to move this product, or these songs for that matter, you will have to spend some money. So let's talk about what we're going to need to move those lyrics coming up right here on the Music Money Makeover Show. First things first is we have to understand the marketplace. So let's take a look at it. We got to fill the void. We also have to fill the demand, and we don't want to fall a victim to dated music. So let's dig into what I'm talking about here. Dated music has a sound and a lyric lingo that is 5 to 14 years old from the current time you are in. This is a space you don't want to live in. People will say, hey, we've heard it before, or it's not inspiring, and above everything else, you sound out of touch and old and dated. This is the place you don't want to live in. These are the people that are still stuck on the initial inspirations of them creating music in the time that they started. And they want to keep creating music like that, or they're just not in touch with how the market moves in music. Every 5 years, the sound begins to change, and every 10 years, the sound has changed, right? So it's like an X. 5 years coming in, 5 years going out, this way right here, right? So if you are, let's take Afrobeat for an example. Afrobeat has been in the market for almost 5 years now. As the sound begins to not be as popular because everybody is doing it, it's like, yeah, we heard it before. We'll jam to it. It's like reggae music or reggaeton music. Like, yeah, we heard this same beat before. We'll tolerate it, but we're not going to say, oh my God, this is amazing, because the trend has gone. It's a little bit old and dated now. It's like you're not getting the initial rush of money that was readily available for that sound now. It ain't happening. Not happening. So you don't want to be caught on that particular train when it's going down. So if you know that a sound was hot or is hot, you want to do your investigation to make sure you're not dated by checking to see how long that sound has been in the market. Because if it is too old, the price that you get for it, or the chances of you getting an A-side protection on an album or moving up on the track list in an album, it becomes very minimal, because the record is like, I could go for something else. Let's keep going. Void, or filling the void, and this is the AKA retroactive period. The void is where nostalgia lives. This is where a sound has hit a retroactive period. Writing music with a sound that is older than 15 to 20 years will make you innovative to the youngest generation, and will make the generation that grew up 20 years ago love you if it's done the right way. And there is a lot of money to be made here, and the prime recreation period is a sound that is 25 to 30 years old, because you sound creative recreating it if you can do it right. And at the same time, everybody's going to say, oh my God, this is so dope. It feels like this, but it's so refreshing to hear it. So that's a cheat code where you can kind of mix in the ingredients that already exist for you to play with. See what I'm saying? So I love retroactive music when it's done right. Like, this is one song I don't like, but I like that it was recreated, but I don't like the fact that they use horns versus Moogs, is Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak Love Train. Sounds amazing. It's just that I'm used to the original tone, but I'll tolerate it. But they made it in a situation where they could actually make money. It goes with the branding of Silk Sonic at the time, and it works, right? Lucky Day, when he did one of the records with Earth, Wind & Fire, same thing. It was like a refreshing take. This is called retroactive producing and writing. It is what it is. You see what I'm saying? But now let's go into what is called the current demand. Let me explain it to you. Current demand has been brewing in the underground market for the past 9 years, and at most, and it's easily found in the streets and clubs, and ironically on user playlists and blogs, the back pages of the internet. User playlists, notice I said that, and blogs as well, notice I said that. It's like stuff where you wouldn't expect to find stuff. This is why, as a creator, it's important to keep your ear to the streets. The general public wants more of what the current sound is, and if you can harness that sound, you can get into the current game quickly. Meaning, remember when I was talking about the dated market and the 5 years coming in? That's that part. But the only way you ride that wave is you have to actually keep your ear to the streets to see what's actually happening. You have to really dig into the current sound and say, ooh, this is kind of getting old. Where's this thing going? Maybe have a couple DJ friends. Maybe look at the forums of the internet and look at different music creatives on Instagram and TikTok to see what's going on and see what's happening out there. Find your way to the charts and go to the bottom and see what's happening at the bottom of the charts. And dig into other playlists of other genres to see what's on the rise. Get your set of research tools that will help you out so you can see what's bubbling. SoundCloud is a good tool to use. AudioMac is a good tool to use. And then YouTube is also a good tool to use as well to dig in the bottom of everything to see what's going on there. You see what I'm saying? And as those things begin to bubble, you just watch it. You take on what you like. You set aside what you don't like, and you ride the waves of the things that are bubbling up that you do like. Take those elements and mix them in. That's how you stay on the current wave that's rolling in. You see what I'm saying? This is where you want to be, because when those waves begin to pop, and many of them will in all of the different genres, then you'll be like, oh, I was already here. And you're in your prime, you're ready. Your production and writing skills are sharpened, and you're ready to press go. You see what I'm saying? Let's keep going. Now we got to talk about cataloging. In order to efficiently sell your songs to the market, you need to have your records cataloged and organized. This ensures your pitching and songs don't get lost in the sauce once you start sending them out. And you should have lyric sheets on deck along with instrumentals, acapellas, and background vocal acapellas tracks. So the song requester has the ability to record the song properly without you being there. And so you don't have to send the session files until it's contract time. You can kind of hold it hostage there. Now, each song should include current writers, producers, programmers, arrangers, and BG vocalists in case things start moving fast. A great way to keep this information tight is using software like Realcrafter or Disco.ac. I highly recommend doing this. The more organized you are and professional you are, the more most people will take you seriously. But we got some remedies for those who want to cheat the system and not take you seriously or take advantage of you. So just hold on for a second. All right, let's keep going. Now we got to bring the songs to the market. You'll want to develop a list of target customers. However, as you actively pursue your purchasing clients, you'll find that people who accept the songs the quickest are managers, artists, label A&Rs, as well as publishing A&Rs. And I'm probably going to really put it in that order. The managers will take it because they're the quickest movers and shakers out there. And if you can get to the artist, great, because let's say you're hanging out in studios, which I'm going to get on in a minute. And you're just able to reach them via social media or just being in the right place at the right time all the time because you're in the streets. And some people are just like that, and that's how you actually get in with the artist. The label A&Rs and the publishing A&Rs, they're cool, but they actually move the slowest out of the bunch. But these are the people that are really going to take your songs amongst anybody else in the game, right? If someone's in the marketing department or the promotion department, it's going to take forever for them songs to move. So you want to target these people. These are the people you're targeting to move your lyrics. Because if you're going to add it from an independent standpoint, artists are going to be the way to go. Anybody else is a waste of time. I know somebody that knows somebody is a waste of time. Get in there, target these people, find the managers, and really now with all the access to information, there is no excuse for actually finding these managers. I mean, ChatGPT will help you I'm giving you the key right there. ChatGPT will just help you get all this information that you're so looking for right now. Let's talk about the marketing materials you're going to need to move this product. A great email pitch with a link to records that the prospects can hear instantly without subscribing to anything is what you need. That's why I suggested Realcrafter or Disco.ac. See, USB drives help, but they can get lost, and cards with QR codes on them are cool as well, but they add an extra step just like the USB, plus they can get lost as well. The best thing to do is to get the email. That way you can begin to build an email list of prospects, track them, and see how often they open, listen, and accept the songs. You just now got a bunch of emails for leads that you can sell to. So how do we utilize these leads to the umpteenth degree the right way, or with safety rather? That should be the question. Well, we got to talk about insurance. Before sending songs out for prospects to hear, you'll want to place insurance on those records in the form of copyright registration for unpublished works. Secondly, even if you send it out without insurance, because maybe you were in a studio session and inspiration kicked in and things started speeding, the next day, make sure you register the unpublished work on copyright.gov and you'll be fine. And here's the thing, as long as you were in the studio and you know everybody that wrote with you in the studio, and you at least got their names, you don't have to do the splits. Especially if you know that you're the salesperson and you about to move this product on the streets. You don't have to get the splits to get insurance. You just need to know the government names of the people who worked on that song in the studio that night. Go get your insurance, start slinging. It's like if you got you a 38 or something like that, or you don't have a 38 and you slanging, this is what the insurance is. This is what the group of unpublished works on copyright.gov is. And for those of you all who have the 60-day record label course already, if you go to the copyright tab and then you go to the group of unpublished works, even though I'm not explaining this scenario, if you go through that part in the course, you're going to understand what this video means for you. Okay, so let's keep going. Scaling operations. Once you have some sales under your belt, you'll want to double down on the paying clients and keep the songs flowing to them, then rinse and repeat this process. Get a few sales going and keep moving product to the people who bought. I know they might have just paid $3 grand, $4 grand, $5 grand for the records, $7 grand for the records, maybe 10, and you need to move some more. So if you need to move some more, just send them some more. If they bought that music from you, and it was already crack, they know you're sending more. And if they don't have a use for it, they know somebody else who does. Promise you, a manager will find use for it. They will find use for it somewhere and get you the money for the crack you just made. The Ready Rock, the audio dopamine. They're gonna find you some money. Remember, you already got insurance on this thing. And if you're really good and you're in the 60-day record label, you put this thing in your LLC. So now we got insurance on the insurance. Oh yeah, that's how we slang it. Let's keep going. Hidden gem to increase contacts. Pay for studio time once a month or a quarter at an A-list studio. Let's say if you live in Columbia, South Carolina. Come to Atlanta, pay for studio time once a month or once a quarter in an A-list studio to mix your records or just touch them up, right? And create some content in there and get access in that studio to walk the hallways and network in the hallways and in the studio. This allows you to create relationships with the engineer, the studio personnel, and you guessed it, artists, managers, and label reps moving through the building. Eventually, you'll get access to the studio for free, depending on the level of your networking skills and audio dope. So maybe they'll say, hey man, come back next weekend to the studio. All right, man, I'm taking that trip from Columbia to come to Atlanta for at least to get in the studio for the free ski to get this particular session done. And before you know it, you've moved from South Carolina to Atlanta, or from Tennessee to Atlanta, or from Chicago to Atlanta, because I know that connection is real, right? Or from Orlando to Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? Or vice versa, or from Atlanta to New York, or Atlanta to LA. Take the time to invest in your product. Don't get stuck in your home studio, because your room at your home studio is only going to give you a certain sound. You take those records to a major studio where some of these artists are cutting these records with, and these engineers they're cutting these records with, and you hear how your mix sound versus how it is at the house, then you can say, oh, we need to adjust this, and this. And you take that mix back to your house, that makes your art better. That makes your creation process even better. And then on top of the networking, now we in the game. Yes, we had to pay to play, but it is what it is. The artist got to pay to be in there anyway. But you double down on that paying by getting contacts, getting content, getting clear mixes on your records, and then you walk away with 3 times what you came in with, what you paid. How much should you sell for? This all depends on the situation. However, when you're selling a complete song, inclusive of the music, and you're new to the game, $3,000 to $7,500 is not insulting to ask for, depending on the label situation. And you can get this. You can get this if you're networking with the right contacts and they're not afraid of that price. Let's keep going. What about points as writers and producers? Songwriters' points are still a negotiable thing, although tensions are loosening. However, the points will be derived from the master, and you can expect them to be in the range of 3 to 4% in many cases. Let me say this. It depends on the situation for my writers who are writing these lyrics, moving these lyrics out here. You're probably still going to share with the producer now. I haven't seen a situation where a writer is getting points separate of the producer, because if the artist deal has not changed, the artist ain't giving you no more points than what they were going to pay the producer anyway. So a lot of people end up splitting that master royalty out of that 3% that will be allotted to the producer when they're dealing with major labels. For everybody who sells beats online and you've never sold to a label, I really don't care what you have to say about the 3 to 4%. You ain't moving the needle on that. So go sit down somewhere. But this is songwriters, this is what we're dealing with. So let's keep going. Who owns the publishing? You will be the retainer of your share of the musical composition. As you build, these shares will be best held in your LLC, like I mentioned earlier, for your DIY publishing and record company. And there are many scenarios on why this is important. But again, like I said earlier, this is insurance for your insurance. And it is what it is. Here's what you need to do. Create some dope music, catalog it, insure it, and sell it. You'll get better as you rinse and repeat the process. And on top of that, find a monthly budget to go to a bigger studio other than your bedroom studio. I'm telling you this from experience. I used to sit in my bedroom studio all the time and tell people to come to me. The problem with playing the game that way is you don't get the network that you need to get. The network as a creative, you need to be in the creative space. Go to someone's studio. Pay the little funky $300, $400 for a block of time. Sit in there. Request an engineer. The time will be worth it. The contact will be worth it. That engineer works there. They know what's going in and out of that studio. And if they make a connection with you and y'all vibe, it was the best paid for date you could have. So if you are a new music creative or new music executive, or you just need to build your record label and publishing company in 60 days or less, with the step-by-step foolproof process to go right along with what we talked about today, jump into my 60-day record label course beneath this video right now. You'll gain the abilities in that course to be able to get funding for your operation. You won't screw yourself contractually out here, like in the streets of the scammer city, Atlanta. I'll show you how not to do that. And then on top of that, you'll keep the middleman out of your pockets, which is what this thing is all about, so you can keep more money for yourself. All right. If you're skeptical about all the stuff I'm saying, just grab the free guide, 10 major ways to increase your record label's profits. A free split sheet is included with the download, so you can keep all the songs on track in your catalog like we talked about today. But let's talk about your upside here. Using a system like this allows your sales to grow consistently and in some cases skyrocket due to your professionalism. It just does. And funny thing is, this is not a course, but I may make this into a real course and embellish it a lot more than this. But I made this because I noticed that in the sync world, you move a lot of records fast this way. And in the publishing world, creatives don't move records as fast as they want to because there is no system there. But then a publisher on the back end uses the same system to move their records a lot faster to the artists that are signed once the songwriters give it to them. So let's just X out the publishers, build the system ourselves, and run it the same way that they do. Now we in the game and we moving way faster. So I actually cut out your middleman twice, once with the course, once with this system. This is a very serious system. I actually gave you this system on the channel before, but now I'm giving it to you again so that you can see it clearly from a better perspective. And I may actually make this a course so that you can really see how this sucker really can supercharge. Anyway, but let's talk about your downside. Sending your songs out without a system can cause confusion with your catalog internally, doesn't solidify your business, and makes it hard to scale your sales. The confusion in the catalog is what makes it hard to scale your sales. Not knowing who your contacts are makes it hard to scale your sales. And not having a point of order, shout out to Eric Mays, God rest his soul, and not having a target position in the game allows you not to be able to move these lyrics like you so want to. Using this system allows you to make money hand over fist, or at least make a great living in the music industry as you have already wanted to do. Music Money Makers, if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, jump into the 60-day record label course, grab the free stuff beneath this video, smash the like button, book a call on musicmoneymakeover.com, and I'll see you next time. Peace.